Hey guys, what's going on? This is Josh from Spotted Euros, and I'm looking into the sun. I cannot see a thing, but today we are making a video about the 2009 Touareg, and some of you might know what this video is. It's 10 things that I love about my Volkswagen Touareg. So stay tuned. This is gonna be a good one. Hopefully we don't cry, but we're gonna start at 10. So it's just something that we kind of like to then go to number 1. So make sure and watch till number 1, because number 1 is definitely the best thing and probably the reason you should buy one of these Touaregs. So stay tuned. Before we get into the video itself, I need to thank all of you who have subscribed to the channel. So we're not counting our chickens before they hatch or whatever, but things are looking pretty good for our goal. We had a goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, and we're at 964. So I thank all 964 of you. I also thank everyone else who is watching, but if you could do me a favor, that's probably one of the last times I'll really ask this much, but if you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. We're almost there, 1,000 subscribers, and then I won't talk about it until we want to reach some other milestone. Okay, so 10 things that 10 things that I love about my Touareg. We just talked about 10 things that I hated. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. Or if you care to focus on the negative rather than the positive, this video, well, watch this video and then go watch the other one. So number 10 is right here in the back. This is something that I didn't think I would care that much about, but it's that right there. This isn't even anything too crazy, it's nothing too special, but having a power hatch here in the back is definitely convenient, and it is something that I like about this Touareg. Just pressing the button, letting it come up. So number 10 is a power hatch. That's number 10, right? This is just something I kind of like. It made it to the list, but don't get too crazy about it. Number 10. Okay, number 9 is right here in the back as well. And that is the outlet, the 115 volt outlet here in the back. This is a common thing for diesels. Doesn't have to be Touaregs, but even the cars, the Jetta sport wagons, they've got an outlet in the back. It's super useful, and the Touareg has this outlet, and then it has two 12 volts right next to it. So we can plug pretty much, well, we can plug stuff in right here in the back. That is number 9, the rear outlet. Okay, so number 8 is gonna be kind of hard to show, but it's right here. Not so much here, but the fuel tank. One of the things I like about this Touareg is how much fuel it actually carries. So you can put 26.4 gallons in this Touareg and combine that with the fuel mileage of a TDI, and you've got a crazy range. I mean, there's plenty of times I fill this up and it's saying 600-mile range, and that's pretty cool, especially on trips. Driving down to California, I can drive all the way to Vegas on one tank on this thing, and it is no problem at all. So that's cool. I like how much fuel this carries. Okay, and we're still back here for number 7, and that's going to be rear cargo space. I mean, look how big this is. Look how much room this is. One of the things I definitely like about Touaregs is how much room is here in the back. Now, I have the cover for this, but honestly, it seems to take up more room than it's useful. So that's not in here anymore, but I mean, you've got tons of space. So that's number 7, is rear cargo space. Plenty of space. Okay, so we're inside for this one. Number 6 is going to be this right here. So we're inside, start the car, put it in reverse. And this right here, once again, this is something that honestly, I mean, I'm not gonna buy or not buy a car because it has a backup camera, but this one did, and it is extremely nice and extremely helpful to see back behind you, especially when you're backing out of a lot of different spots. It's always nice to have a backup camera. In the last video, we talked about how this backup camera doesn't always work. That is something I don't like, but I do like having the backup camera. So that is number 6. Okay, and here is number 5. It's not the whole car, but it is the whole car. It is the look of this Touareg. I love the look of these Touaregs. I think the body style and everything, in a lot of ways, in my opinion, this does not show age. A lot of people are surprised at how old this is. There are plenty of people that think this is a lot newer than it actually is, and especially they think they would never guess that it has so many miles. This has 185,000 miles, and you definitely would not tell from the outside. The previous generation Touaregs are the same. People have a hard time placing exactly what year they are, so I always like that. I think it also goes with how popular these are, as in not that popular. So people really don't know what they are a lot of times. They know it's a Volkswagen from the huge badges, but they're usually not too familiar. So that is definitely something I like, is the exterior look, or just the overall look of these Touaregs. Okay, number 4 is going to be similar to number 5, but instead it's the interior. Number 4 is the look of the interior of this. Now, I specifically am talking about my Touareg, and I also will add in the Touareg 2, so the 2nd generation Touareg. I think they made this look really nice inside. I think the seats, the stitching of the seats, kind of the overall layout. I mean, this is very much similar to the 1st generation Touareg, but I think with just a couple of changes, couple of tweaks, they really were able to kind of modernize and make this look just a little bit better. So I think part of the reason I think this just feels so much nicer than my previous Touaregs is because of the technology, or the tech in here. So 2 things are going to be the head unit itself. So this is a lot nicer. You have a lot more functionality here. The ability to put in an aux port. This has navigation. This has a bunch of different stuff. So if I were you, and if you are looking for a Touareg 2, I would try and find something that has this updated head unit, because it also will have this display here in the middle. For whatever reason, this display in the middle makes the car feel a lot newer, a lot nicer. It's funny because if you get in one of the lower trim level Touaregs and you have like the black and red, I mean, instantly it feels older than the car actually is, just because it's pretty low. Now, once again, this isn't something that I typically care about, but the overall feel of the inside of the Touareg, it feels a lot newer, a lot nicer, and I think this is kind of why. Okay, number 3. Number 3 is going to be hard to show you here on the camera, but number 3 is actually how smooth and quiet these Touaregs are. I mean, this is a diesel engine. It's got a diesel engine. It's not that huge, obviously. It's just a V6 diesel, but it is louder than say a gasoline engine. But inside, everything feels very quiet, very smooth, especially when I drive other cars and then I get back in this. This car does great on the highway. I mean, if you add the fuel capacity, the fuel economy, plus how smooth and comfortable it is, how nice it feels inside, I mean, this is the perfect trip, the perfect family car, as long as you don't have that big of a family, but a perfect family car. Now, number 2 is this right here. As you can see, average consumption 23.5. Now, that is nothing too crazy to talk about, but honestly, this is around town. I'm not even sure what this is. This is just the average showing up right here. So without even really focusing on this too much, I mean, that is what you're looking at for an average. Now, to have an average like that, in a SUV that's got tons of room, that's got cargo space, that can pull a trailer, can pull a car on a trailer, all that kind of stuff is super cool. I've always liked these Touaregs. My last Touareg though, sometimes it got left behind just because of the fuel economy. It was a V8, so you'd be lucky if you could get like 10 around town, and hopefully, you know, 17, 18 on the freeway. So this will do. I've done videos on this to get exact numbers, but this can easily get 27, 28, maybe even up to 30 on the freeway. It's all depending on a lot of factors and how fast you're going, all that kind of stuff. But the point is, this is very fuel efficient for what it is. It's not going to beat out the, you know, Jetta Sport Wagons or the Golfs or anything like that. But for what it is, extremely well on fuel, and it makes driving a Touareg so much worth it because it's not costing you as much. Okay, and number one, here you go. This is my opinion. This is what I think makes all the difference, is towing with this Touareg. Now you would think, oh, towing with a Touareg, this isn't necessarily built for that, but honestly, it does so well. Now, one of the things I keep talking about a previous Touareg. I had a 2005 Volkswagen Touareg V8 with the air suspension, the rear locking differential, center lock, I mean fully loaded, and I towed with that for a long time, and I always debated about getting one of these TDIs. One of the things or reasons I always kind of held back or didn't get one of these TDIs is because I didn't think it would be that much of a difference over the V8. I thought if I really needed to get something that would tow well and something that I didn't have to manage as much on the freeway, I was gonna have to get like a half-ton truck or something like that, or then even more would be like a diesel truck. So like I said, I was always hesitant. I always held back just because I didn't know how much of a difference it would make for buying one of these and selling my old car. All of that kind of stuff. Was it going to be worth it? Because the main thing I'm looking for is something to move my family around, but then also to tow cars around and move stuff around. Nothing too crazy, but you know, a single car trailer with a car on top, that's kind of what I'm looking for. And I've taken this on some trips and I've been surprised every single time. We've done tons of towing with this Touareg. I've taken it, you know, back and forth. I've taken it down to California and back pretty much non-stop, you know, 1,600 miles without it barely shutting off, and honestly it does great through the mountains with a car on the back. I mean, okay, not to go on too long, but honestly this was the car that kind of started a lot of things. So I was doing some YouTube videos, and I really think once I bought this Touareg, it kind of helped move the channel forward. If I look over the past views and everything else, this Touareg, once I bought this and made videos on it, I really think it did well. And one of the things that I always wanted to see was a matchup between the V8 and the TDI to really see if it was worth it. Well, once I got this, we did exactly that. So if you're interested in any of those videos, go check them out. We might even do a revisit here in a little bit, but anyway, though, that is 10 things that I love about this TDI Touareg. And guess what? I love this more than I loved the V8 Touareg that I had, even with the air suspension, all that kind of stuff. Being a TDI makes all the difference for this Touareg, and I'm not sure, especially with the past experience, the recent experience with the V8, I'm not sure that I'll ever buy another V8. It's gonna be TDIs from here on out. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you would add something to your list. But I love this thing, and I'm holding back tears. That's why I'm wearing sunglasses on this one, because my eyes are watering up on how much I love this thing, and I'm trying not to get too emotional. But anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for watching.